What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another day of Read Rich and Righteous. I'm, in fact, not live today, and the reason why is because I have a flight that lands at 8:15, or supposed to land at 8:15, and in case it landed late, I wanted to make sure that we were still here and we were staying consistent. You know that consistency has been really important to me when it comes to these 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time readings, and so I'm doing this as a precaution in case my flight doesn't land on time. And so with that, we're going to continue. I'm going to read as if we are live. I've asked everybody who's on Instagram to come over to YouTube and join us. So please continue to engage in the chat as if I was right here in person with you. Today we are continuing our reading. We've been doing this for over 2 months now. I got a nudge from Spirit in the middle of November to say, Jullien, just go read your book out loud. And I had written this book at the beginning of COVID. It was a divine download that came to me and through me. And I knew that the world was going to slip into a mindset of scarcity at that time, right? Had it not been for all of the stimulus packages that came through, we would have been in a very scarce and dark place. And so thankfully that came through. And I'm here literally to show you how to navigate any scarcity that you have. A lot of the collective consciousness is talking about recession, right? And just because that's what the collective consciousness is talking about doesn't mean that that has to be your reality in your personal economy. I quit my job January 9th, 2009 at the bottom of the last recession. You can go look at the S&P 500 at that date and time. Home Depot was laying off thousands of people. All kinds of companies were laying off thousands of people. Yet I still had the courage to step out and walk in my God-given purpose. And I've experienced abundance ever since. And so the money mindset that allowed me to navigate that particular external economy, right, is actually in here so that you can actually cultivate and nurture your internal economy, which then manifests as abundance in your life. And so with that, we're continuing our reading. We read about 4 to 8 pages every single day. And right now we are on page 263. We're on page 263. We're in this section called commandment number 7, money commandment number 7, which is how the rich and righteous use money. If you have not got the book yet, please go to moneyandmanifestation.com. Again, that's moneyandmanifestation.com. If you go to amazon.com to buy the book, it's literally $100 for one copy. But if you go to moneyandmanifestation.com, you get 5 copies, right? 1 for you, 4 for you to give to other people. This is the way that you stimulate your personal economy. As you give, so you shall receive. So a big reason you aren't receiving what you desire is because you're not giving enough. And so I'm literally helping you stimulate your personal economy so that you can give, and therefore you will start to receive in other ways that have been magical. If you've seen some of the stories that have happened in our Facebook group, just magical stories, if you go there and read them, you'll see what the power of this intentional design, why you must buy 5 books. You're not just buying for yourself. You want to elevate not only yourself, but those around you. And when you find that you start to elevate those around you or those who you're meant to serve, then you'll start to see more abundance come into your life. So I do this intentionally. A lot of people say, Jullien, why can't I just buy 1 book? There's a reason and a science behind it. And you'll see some of that in the Facebook group. The Facebook group is facebook.com/groups, plural, /rich and righteous. Okay, that's facebook.com/groups/rich and righteous. If for whatever reason you do not have $100, right, because you are in a state of scarcity or lack temporarily, that's an temporary external condition, you can go into the Facebook group and actually look for posts where people are actively seeking to give their extra copies away to other people. Now, we never want to ask from a place of neediness or begging, right? We in a couple chapters ago, we talked about not praying from victim consciousness, not praying from a state of begging, but praying from a state of power. And so I want you to ask from a space of genuine need, not from neediness. So go in the Facebook group and actually look for people who are actively looking to give their book away to other people, their extra books. And if you have $10, you don't have $100, but you have $10, say, look, I'll cash app you to pay for shipping if you would be willing to give me or gift me one of your extra books. And we're creating this beautiful economy, and you're seeing what it's like for givers to learn how to give. All right, it's a blessing to be a blessing. And for those of you who might be in lack right now, temporarily, right, you're also seeing the power of developing that muscle. You have not because you ask not, right? And so we're growing these 2 muscles of giving and receiving. We're trying to find the balance so that you are spiritually strong and able to navigate this world and this reality that we're in. So this is done intentionally, okay? So again, you can get the book at moneyandmanifestation.com, or if you are in a temporary state of lack, you can go into the Facebook group. That's facebook.com/groups/rich and righteous, and you can go look for someone who's looking to give a book away. When you get the book, you get 5 copies. You also get the rituals workbook, which is all the exercises that are in the book that you'll see at the end of each chapter, and you also get the audiobook. But of course, we're here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day reading together. Yesterday, I got to bless the stage at Traffic Sales and Profit, Lamar Tyler's event. Some of you may be here from that particular event now. It was absolutely amazing. Over 1,000 people in the room, and I got to speak on what it meant to be rich and righteous, and it was an absolute blessing. I can't wait to get that footage and for some of you to see that. Of course, we can't share it all because that was a paid event, but I look forward to blessing more stages and sharing that message with more and more people. And that message is really the divine download that is here in Rich and Righteous in a shorter form. I got to speak for about an hour, and I lit that stage on fire. I think the fire department is still there trying to put out that fire. All right, so with that, we're going to start with our reading on page 263. So again, I encourage you, even though I'm not actually live today because of my travel schedule, what I'm encouraging you to do is still engage in the chat on YouTube. It's still engage in the chat as if I was actually there, and let's just have fun. All right, let's just have fun. So we're reading this section called "Give Cash Consciousness." Oh, really quickly, before I go in, I want to share just two amazing stories that unfolded in the Facebook group. Again, the Facebook group is an opportunity for us to share the demonstrations of what it means to be rich and righteous. And actually, I'll just share one so that we can get into the reading right now. This one comes from LeBaron Durant, and you'll see it pinned at the top of the Facebook group. He said, "Every day I tune in to read into the reading, I grow, and not a physical growth, but a mental growth. This simple prayer, 'Be me, God,' has changed me so much. I don't look to others. I don't look to other people or beings to make things happen for me, but I look for it to flow through me." Right? I'm looking for new ways to bless people. I was eating out for my birthday, and somehow the conversation moved into Dine and Dash, where my daughter had done this before. My being previously employed in the restaurant industry knows how devastating this could be for a server, since it came out of my tips when this happened. The current server we had, who was very attentive and wonderful, shared her story from the day before, where party dined and dashed, and she was left with the bill to the tune of $109. And I immediately asked for her Cash App and sent her the money. Family, when I tell you that was one of the best feelings I have ever had, to bless someone else on my birthday. I really am shifting and looking to circulate and flow in my divine purpose. Be me, God. So it's just amazing stories like that. And thank you, LeBaron, for sharing. It show that the work is working, right? What we're doing with Read Rich and Righteous is we're working on the unseen, whereas financial literacy focuses on the how. Here's how you buy real estate. You know, I teach that. That is one of my earthly manifestations. Here's how you buy stocks. Here's how you start Turo. Here's how you do Airbnb. Here's how, right? That's financial literacy. But financial spirituality is on the who. Who are you? Right? One, we know that we are children of God. And two, as a result of that, we know that abundance is our birthright. And so that's really, if I had to summarize this book, right, it would be you are a child of God and abundance is your birthright. And then from there, developing the skill sets to step into that reality. All right? So right now, we're on page 263. We're reading Give Cash Consciousness. Okay? The scripture for the day is, Jesus told his disciples, there was a rich man whose manager was accused of wasting his possessions. So he called him in and asked him, "What is this I hear about you? Give an account of your management." Luke 16:1-2. The word steward means to manage or look after, especially another's property. I don't perceive the money in my possession to be mine. I don't perceive this $100 bill to be mine. Okay? Everything I have, including the money in my account, was given to me. So I consider it to be God's money. The only thing that belongs to me is that which I create. And even with that, all praises are due to God. I am just a steward seeking to invest the money given to me in the ideals, ideas, individuals, and investments that will produce the greatest good. God is the owner, and I run my department here on earth and am given a budget based on my department's growth and how good of a steward I have been. Okay? So that's how we are given. It is based on how we have stewarded that which we already have. Okay? And so paragraph 2. Money is known as dead presidents, right? I'm out for dead presidents to represent me. Give money, right? Dead presidents. Money is known as dead presidents. The famous lyric by rapper Nas says, I'm out for dead presidents to represent me. When something is dead, it has no life, circulation, or energy. As stored energy, money is dead. Our role is to resurrect those dead presidents, literally lift them up out of the grave to give them life instead of burying them in a bank. In other words, we give cash consciousness. We give it something to do. We give it life by giving the currency a current. We give it life and intelligence by charging it negatively or positively and putting it in motion in a particular direction, which is the nature of currency. This is energetic economics, and spiritually rich people give cash consciousness with their investments. Capital doesn't become currency until it is in motion. I found that the more I give, the more I receive. God banks with me, meaning deposits into me because it knows it can bank on me. I'm going to repeat that. God banks with me, meaning that God deposits wealth into me because it knows it can bank on me. The better steward I have become, the more money that flows to me and through me. So it's not just money flowing to me, right? Because that means that the buck stops here. No, it is money flowing to me and through me, meaning that as soon as I get this gift, this blessing, this extra energy from God, I actually have a vision from to which I deploy that money. It does not just come to me and then sit in a bank account. I already have a purpose for that money. I already have a purpose for Benjamin Franklin. I already have a purpose for Hamilton. I already have a purpose for Lincoln. Many of you, if I gave you more money right now, you wouldn't have a purpose for it. It would just sit there, dead, right? It wouldn't have a current. It would be lifeless. You might pay off your student debt, you might pay off your car note, your mortgage, but then the rest of the money is just sitting there because the vision that you have isn't big enough at this moment in time. And this is precisely why you're not a millionaire yet, because you don't need to be a millionaire. You don't need $1 million at this moment in time. You don't have a vision big enough that even requires $1 million or results in you having $1 million. My vision does. Okay? So we have to look at money differently. Money has ADHD. Its nature is hyperactive. It wants to bounce around the economy from consumer to creator to consumer to creator multiple times in a day. How many of y'all got ADHD out there? Right? It's hard to sit still. So then you know the nature of money. The nature of money is the same. It is hyperactive. It wants to bounce around the economy from consumer to creator to consumer to creator multiple times in a day. If you make it sit in a bank account too long, guess what it's going to do? It will find a way to escape you. Money is useless unless you use it. When we resurrect money, we lift it up to its highest possible use. We lift it up to its highest possible use. In a bank account, it is at its lowest possible use. We want to elevate it to its highest possible use. A post-it note with $1 million business idea written on it is worth more than a $100 bill with Benjamin Franklin on it. A post-it note with $1 million business idea written on it is worth more than a $100 bill with Benjamin Franklin on it. Rather than hoard and hold a $100 bill for your security, it is more valuable to invest that $100 bill into one of the ways to give cash consciousness, which includes transmuting it into ideals, ideas, individuals, and investments you believe are doing good or God's work. Let's walk through each one now. So I want to show you this chart right here. Okay. So YouTube, go ahead and take a second to take a screenshot of that. I'll leave it up here for about 10 seconds. These are the ways to give cash consciousness. So you see ideals, right? Let's say you believe in youth entrepreneurship or social justice or nonprofit or your church, right? This is an ideal, okay? So you might be donating to certain causes that you believe in, right? Then there's ideas, your business, a Kickstarter campaign, a GoFundMe, okay? It's not in full maturation yet. It hasn't come to full term. It's just an idea, and you're willing to invest in it. You're willing to send energy in that direction. Then there is individuals. You can invest in your temple, right? Which is up here. Some of y'all been tithing to the wrong temple. The right temple to tithe into is the temple of your mind. Okay. Now, I'm not saying don't tithe to the other one if it's pouring into you, but in most cases it's not, right? So you want to tie to the temple of your mind first. Then you might tie to somebody who you believe is doing good or God's work through Patreon or YouTube Super Chat. Some of you have given me badges on Instagram, etc., right? A local politician whose campaign you believe in and thinks that you think is going to do well for the city that you live in. You're giving cash consciousness by sending it towards an individual. Or investments, right? A stock you believe in, like Tesla, right? Real estate, Bitcoin, not right now, or a startup, okay? So below this line is your savings account. This is dead presidents. It's seed money, okay? Your plan, these are seeds. And above this line is saving the world. So you have your savings account, you have saving the world. This is how you do it, okay? So let's walk through each one accordingly. So number one, ideals. Ideals include the things that represent your values. They are the heavenly state in our minds. Some ideals include things like youth entrepreneurship, social justice, gender equality might be a cause you believe in, or saving the environment. Ideals are the least tangible of the four. They are formless like the universe in Genesis 1:2, until an individual, a God on earth, lowercase g, is able to receive the idea as a divine download from God, believe in the idea enough to nurture it, and turn it into an institution that tangibly works towards the original ideal. Okay? This is the process of bringing heaven on earth. Sometimes in the beginning stages, the simple act of just channeling money or stored energy towards an ideal through donating is a signal. Through donating is a signal to God and perhaps an individual that the world wants this. Going back to the Nas lyric, I'm out for dead presidents to represent me. When you release money towards ideals you believe in, you are putting your money where your mouth is, and those dead presidents are now representing you. It is harder to attract money to an ideal with the exception of religious institutions. Money tends to be attracted to more tangible forms like ideas, individuals, and investments. So one of the nonprofits that I raised a lot of money for when I was living in New York was called Build, and they were focused on youth entrepreneurship. I love mentoring youth. I love helping the youth become their full selves, right? And I love entrepreneurship. And so I raised a lot of money for Build, right? Even in as the New York chapter was kind of formless, I believe in the ideal of youth entrepreneurship, and so I committed my time energy, my thought energy, my social capital to raising money for that organization for several years as I sat on their board, right? So this is channeling money towards an ideal, okay? So now we want to move to the next one. Number two, ideas. Ideas come out of ideals, okay? Idea, even when you think about it, the word idea is literally in the word ideals, right? The visionary starts with an ideal and then receives an idea that may be able to make that ideal a reality. Now the formless starts to take shape in the individual and collective mind. These ideas may get translated and refined through conversation or brainstorming on paper and become a business plan. The idea is the route by which the ideal can manifest. Ideas that are stuck between the first dimension, which is thought form, and of the mind, right? The first dimension of the mind, and the second dimension, which is flat form. Okay, so there's thought form, right, up here, and then there's flat form once you've written it down and making it plain, right? Ideas that are stuck between the first dimension of the mind and the second dimension of a plan or image can attract money through donations, investments, commitments, and pre-orders. So you may have an idea for a book that is written to move an ideal forward in the world. And before you've even written the book, you can actually start to attract energy to it through pre-orders, right? When you look at Kickstarter or GoFundMe, right? These are examples. So you can invest in your own business, a friend's business, or ideas you found on crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter or GoFundMe. Number three, individuals. Next is individuals. If you ask any investor in Silicon Valley, they invest in the individual more than the idea. Good ideas are cheap. Everyone has them. They are a dime a dozen. Every idea that comes to you is not. Every idea that comes to you is not meant for you. If you are not meant to create the idea, you are likely meant to be a consumer or early adopter, which still supports the idea's manifestation. You will know an idea is meant for you when you when you fully believe in the idea and your ability to execute it. Okay? You will know the idea is meant for you when you fully believe in the idea and your ability to execute it. You can invest in individuals, including yourself, family, friends, mentees, or an entrepreneur you found locally or online. Perhaps a family member or friend needs money to launch their business, or a mentee needs equipment for their passion. In these cases, you are investing in the individual because you believe in them. The idea is secondary. Platforms like Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon allow you to invest in content creators. And Kiva.org allows you to invest in undercapitalized entrepreneurs in developing countries through microfinancing. This is an example of investing in an individual. Number 4, investments. Finally, there are investments. Investments are when you are placing money into either items and institutions. Going back to the value holder hierarchy, some of those items include stocks, precious metals like gold, commodities, and collectibles like baseball cards, art, antiques, old school cars, cryptocurrency, land, or real estate. These are essential when you have cash but don't know what to do with it, or you simply want to diversify. We also know that real estate in general appreciates by 3% on average. Multifamily real estate is one of my favorite and most proven investments. It has been around since the feudal system in Europe from 900 AD, where kings gave land to lords in exchange for loyalty, hence the word landlord. It is the number one subscription business in the entire world. Providing high quality, affordable housing allows me to collect rent revenues that pay down the principal on the mortgage and generate monthly cash flow in addition to the appreciation and tax savings. You can also invest in institutions by donating to nonprofits, buying an equity stake in an early stage business you believe in, investing in real estate directly or indirectly through REITs, which are real estate investment trusts, or starting your own institution, whether it be for profit or nonprofit. Never forget that the greatest investment you can make is likely into yourself, your own ideals, ideas, institutions, and investments. Usually, that manifests as you walking in your purpose. You don't have to outsource value creation to others and then settle for being an employee, consumer, or passive investor. You are a creator too. You cannot hand down a job, but you can pass on a business and equity. The stock market is a powerful way to give cash consciousness. It is not considered an investment in an institution because when you buy stocks post IPO, that money doesn't go to the actual institution. Therefore, when you purchase a stock, you are buying an item that represents a share of an institution. Your co-ownership is a signal of your belief in that institution, the individuals that work there, the idea, and the ideals the company stands for. But it is an indirect investment. The stock market is a great alternative if you don't have a business you personally own. There is over $30 trillion circulating in the stock market, and over half of Americans own stock as part of their 401ks and retirement plans. And we know that the S&P 500 has grown at 4.77% annually over the past 20 years. The key for the rich and righteous is to make sure that the companies you spend money with or invest in are actually moving the world towards the ideals you desire. Investing in the stock of a company that is not in alignment with the world you want to see just to make a quick buck is counterproductive. We must become intentional and ethical investors. For instance, I would never invest in a defense company even if I could profit because I don't believe in war. Instead, I would seek an equally great investment that is having a positive impact on the world. Though the money isn't going directly to the company, buying stocks is a signal of your belief, and I would argue that your belief is a more powerful form of currency than money. You are giving them your thought energy even if they don't directly receive your money. Your powerful thought energy is now entangled because you want a company that is not creating the world you wish to see to win, so that you don't lose your money. Okay? While ethical investing may require more research, I believe that there is an abundance of righteous companies that can be more profitable alternatives. It's your life, and it's your life energy and a personal decision. So do what feels best to you. However, I challenge you to be more intentional about what you invest in with the goal of being rich and righteous, not just rich. All money is not good money. The values you live are more important than the value you create and capture. I'll repeat that. The values you live are more important than the value you create and capture. How you get money says more about you than how much money you get, especially if it compromises your values. Never go against yourself, especially for money, because that means that money has more power over you than you do over it. All right? So, for me, I could never invest in Philip Morris, even if I knew that Philip Morris stock was going to grow by 10x. I don't believe that they are committed to the health of the American people, right? So even though I might make money investing in that stock, I wouldn't do it because I do not want to send any of my energy towards creating a world that I don't believe in. I don't want that particular entity to expand. That's just my personal belief. This is nothing against smokers. That's just my personal belief. I'm just saying that wherever you have belief, whatever you have belief in, whatever institutions, individuals you believe are bringing your version of heaven on earth, that's where you want to send your money. I remember one time where I actually, when I was speaking at colleges and companies, a defense contractor actually hired me to speak to their African American employees. And here I am giving my gifts, my talents, my strengths and skills to retaining their employees who I knew were not happy there. And on top of that, this defense contractor makes weapons of mass destruction that end up hurting brown people on the other side of the world. Yet I'm giving them my talents and skills so that they can become better at doing that. When I got that check, that was one of the worst feelings that I ever had. And I committed at that moment in time to not give my energy to institutions or individuals that did not align with my version of heaven on earth. Instead, I would work harder, right? Or not work harder. Instead, I would take more time to give my thought energy, my time energy, my intellectual capital, my social capital. I would rather give that to organizations, individuals, and that align with my ideals. So all money is not good money, y'all. And so as you become investors and accept that identity, you have to be very mindful. You don't want to just invest in a particular stock just because it's going to make money. Because what if you're making money, but at the same time, it's also creating a world that you don't believe in? So I want you to be more intentional about where you channel not only your financial capital, but of course, your own personal capital, your own time and energy, your intellectual capital, your social capital, all your forms of capital. We want them to be going in the direction of the world that you want to create, of the heaven that you see manifested here on earth. Remember, heaven is your mental experience of life. It is the greatest good that you can see for yourself and others, right? And what we're here to do is to bring heaven on earth. We're here to bring that mental perspective, that mental vision into our material reality here on earth. All right? So that concludes our reading for today. We will continue on Monday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I won't be traveling that day, so I'm looking forward to being with you again live. I hope you still got the experience being here on YouTube and hearing me read and still ad-lib, right, as I'm reading. And like I said, consistency is so important. Consistency is a key component. Consistency is belief demonstrated. When you truly believe something, you're consistent with it. If you believe that exercise is helping with you, you'll be consistent with it. And so this was really important for me, not for us to not skip a day, for even if I had a travel schedule that was tight. And so I've still showed up for you. I'm recording this at 11 p.m. The night before, right? Because I'm committed to not only getting this book in your hands, but more importantly, getting it in your heads and your heart. And so with that, I hope that you have a great strong end. We don't do weekends over here. I hope you have a great strong end. right? And then I will see you again on Monday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on YouTube and Instagram. All right. So if you haven't got the book, again, you can go to moneyandmanifestation.com. Again, that's moneyandmanifestation.com. You get 5 copies for the price of one for you, 4 for you to give to away. You also get the rituals workbook as well, and the audio book. And if for whatever reason you're in a temporary state of lack, right, but you really need a book, right, then you can go to the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/rich and righteous, and you can look for those who have bought the set of books and are looking to give one away. If somebody could type that in the chat for me, facebook.com/groups/rich and righteous, and somebody else could type in moneyandmanifestation.com, that would be great. All right. So I will see you again on Monday. We will be live and in person and direct. So I'll see you then. Again, have a great strong end. Love y'all, and I'll see you soon. Peace.